I just passed the CompTIA 701 Security Plus exam. In this video, I will review 280 questions that spans across all the CompTIA objectives. Come with me and let's study together. We will review 10 questions from the CompTIA Security Plus 1.3 objectives. Explain the importance of change management processes and the impact to security. Questions. What change management component is essential for ensuring security operations are not adversely affected by new implementation? Select the best option. Are not adversely affected by implementation. Ownership, a backout plan, test results, and approval process. So if I want to strike out 2 out of the options that I know is not the correct answer, I don't think it's ownership. Because in this context, I don't even know what ownership means. Test result. Test result is something that already happened. What they are trying to find out is what change management component is essential for ensuring operations are not adversely affected. It's not test result. Backout plan. A backout plan is what happens after implementation and things are not going according to plan. Then you have to roll back what you did. In this case, it's an approval process. An approval process, there are several steps that are done to make sure nothing is adversely affected. An approval process is critical, is a critical aspect of change management that scrutinizes proposed changes before implementation, before you implement. So that's the answer here, an approval process, D. Okay. Question number 2. Question number 2. Which of the following is the best solution for a cybersecurity team to implement to prevent employees from installing video games on a company system? So on our personal computers, we can install anything we want, but on a corporate computer or a corporate system, most companies don't give you the option to just download anything. So which of the following is the best solution for a cybersecurity team to implement? What can you implement? Let's look at it. Sandbox, an allow list, a block list, a list privilege. I can easily remove list privilege because list privilege is a control mechanism to make sure you don't have more rights than you should have. I can remove sandbox because sandbox, it's a way that you exclude some operating systems or you sandbox it into an environment. That's what a sandbox is. So the option is either a block list or an allow list. Let's examine a block list. So you can definitely use a block list. However, you don't know what you want to block. So if someone wants to use Instagram, Facebook, the lists are enormous. You can have 100 or 1,000 of this that you want to block. So allow list is the answer because you know what your employees need. And what your employees need, if they change from time to time, you can review if there are additional things that should be included in this allow list. So there might be about 10 or 100 applications that you want in this allow list. The reason this is the correct answer, because a block list, you don't know exactly what you need to block. That's why allow list is the answer. That's it. Allow list. Number 3. What practice reflects the actual network infrastructure when ensuring system representations accuracy? System representations accuracy. That's what we want to know. Okay. What practice? Is it a regression testing, updating diagram, data maxing, version control? Okay, let's start with version control. It is not version control, because a version control allows us to document each change. A data maxing, it is when we max out confidential information. It could be a social security number. When you go to the store, on the receipt of your card, you see XXX on the last four of your credit card. They are maxing that data. It's definitely not regression testing. This deals with statistics. Now, updating diagrams is the correct answer. And this means keeping visual representations such as network diagram accuracy to help network professionals understand and manage security effectively. It gives you a diagram into the network. So this is the correct answer. Question number 4. What change management component outlines the steps to be taken if a change implementation encounters unexpected issues of failure? Unexpected issue of failure. What change management component outlines the steps? What step we are going to take? Okay, let's look at this. Is it a snapshot? A snapshot? No, because a snapshot is like a representation. It's like a capture of a system at a point in time when you want to do a backup. So I know that it's not. Is it a backup plan? Maybe. Let's see. Is it a contingency plan? It says what change management component outlines the steps to be taken if a change implementation encounters unexpected failure. Now, as I'm reading this question and I'm going back and reading it, that's how you should in an exam. Because one of the problems I see people generally have in exams is that they are looking for an answer, right? And they are not reading the questions over and over. So you should be going between reading the questions and looking at the choices you have. Okay. Is it an implementation plan? No, it doesn't look like an implementation plan. The answer is a backup plan. And a backup plan is a critical aspect of change management that defines the rollback option. How do you roll back? It defines the rollback option if an implementation does not go as planned. So essentially what it does is that it reverts the system to a previous state. You might have done it on your computer. If you see that your Windows computer is not performing as you want it, you just restore it back to a previous state that you know was working. So this is a backup plan. Okay, this is definitely wrong here. This is a backup plan. Question number 4. What change management component outlines the steps to be taken if a change implementation encounters unexpected issues of failure: a snapshot, a backup plan, a contingency plan, and an implementation plan. So it's not a snapshot, because a snapshot shows you, a snapshot is essentially the documents or the information you have on the computer at a particular time. That's what it means, that taking a snapshot. Could it be a backup plan? Possibly. But let's see. Is it a contingency plan? No, a contingency plan is like an alternative plan. Implementation plan. This is what happens when you want to implement something. Correct answer is a backup plan. And the reason is a backup plan is because a backup plan is a critical aspect of change management, and it defines the rollback options of an implementation. The rollback option when an implementation does not go according to plan. So if you implement something, it doesn't go the way you want it, you do a backup plan. It's also called a rollback plan. You roll it back to maybe a factory setting if your computer is messing up, or a portion in the past. So that is a backup plan. Okay. Now, question number 5. When creating new software, what is the interconnection of services and system drivers known as? Select the most appropriate answer. Now, most appropriate answer. Errors, first option, errors in software code. B, incompatibilities. C, dependencies. And interoperability. Okay. So we know that it's not errors in software code, because it's what is the interconnection of services. And during the exam, you should be going back and forth between the questions and the options. And if possible, you should be striking out options that you know are incorrect. They will give you a pad that you can write there and you can actually erase. It's a dry erase board. So for each question, just say A, B, C, D and strike out questions that you think are not the correct choice until you get to the correct choice. So incompatibilities, let's see that. Dependencies, interoperability. Okay, in this case, it's not incompatibilities, because it says what's the interconnection of services and system drivers known as. The correct answer is dependencies, right? Apart from me knowing that it's dependencies, right, we can strike out a few things. One is errors in software code. We know that's not it. Incompatibilities, we know that's not it. Interoperability, we should know it's not it, because it's not interconnection. So the correct answer is dependencies. Good. Question 6. What is the primary reason for scheduling a maintenance window for system updates or changes in IT operations? What's the primary reason for selecting a maintenance window? Okay. Now, to maximize resource utilization, to reduce the need for regular backup, to bypass the need for change management procedure, to ensure updates are implemented without disrupting others. So, even without an IT knowledge, this is something that we can figure out just by understanding English. Okay. What is the primary reason for scheduling a maintenance window? Is it to maximize resource utilization? No. To reduce the need for regular backup, we don't want to implement something that's going to give us more work to do. to bypass the need for change management procedure. In any organization, we should not bypass change management procedure or any steps. The correct answer is D, to ensure updates are implemented without disrupting others. In organizations, especially in the banking industry or trading, we don't want to disrupt users. They might be in the midst of doing million-dollar trades. We don't want to find a way to disrupt them. Now, a designated time window allows IT team to perform necessary tasks while minimizing the impact on system availability and user experience. So we want to make sure they have a good user experience. And the answer is D. Number 7. Which action involves closing and reopening an application to address issues, refresh resources, or implement changes? So we want to close a system and we want to reopen it. Let's take example, if our phone is having a problem or our computer is having a problem, right? We restart it, right? Just to make sure that we clear away anything that is in the cache memory or any programs that are running. So what is this called? Is it an application refresh, an application restart, application reload, or application reset? This can be very interesting. So let's remove a few things, at least one, because these are similar. It's not an application reload because we are not reloading the application. It could be an application reset, it could be an application restart, application refresh. Although this one has refresh in it, I will remove this also because it's not an application refresh. Between B and D, the correct answer is B, application restart. This is something that we should know from our daily computer lingo that says restart your computer. We don't say refresh your computer. We say just restart it, restart your phone. So that is how we can know this, just by the things we do on a daily basis. So it should be an application restart. Okay, so that's correct. Now, question number 8. When creating new software, what is the main purpose of reviewing and analyzing test results before deploying changes to a production environment? Okay. To validate user documentation, to analyze system dependencies, to confirm that a team adheres to coding standards, to identify and address potential issues or defects. Okay, I go back to the question again. When creating a new software, what is the main purpose of reviewing and analyzing test results? Why do you review and analyze test results before deploying? Okay. It could be that to confirm that a team adheres to coding standards, to analyze system dependencies. You really don't need to analyze system dependencies, right? We use this to probably during impact analysis. To validate user documentation, probably not, because they should have done the user documentation way earlier. So the correct answer is D, to identify and address potential issues or defect. Because reviewing and analyzing test results before deployment is critical, right? To identify and address potential issues or defects in the code. So that's why you review. So the answer is D. Okay. Now we go to question 9. What vital process in change management assesses the potential consequences of alterations for various applications, such as system, processes, and resources? So the question is, what process assesses the potential consequences. Okay. The choices are impact analysis, a backout plan, a standard operating procedure, a maintenance window. Okay. So we saw something earlier that at least could help us. So is it a backup plan? No, I don't think it's a backup plan. We've gone through backup plans, which is like a rollback plan. Is it a standard operating procedure? No, it's not, because a standard operating procedure, there are steps in getting something done. You write the process and the procedure step by step, detailed. Is it a maintenance window? No, a maintenance window is like an allowance giving us time to fix problems so that user experiences are good. The answer here is impact analysis, because it says what vital process in change management assesses the potential consequences. Consequences, we can use impact here instead of consequences of alterations. So we want to know what the impact is. Okay, now we go to number 10. Don't forget to comment if you like this video. If there is any style change that you want in this video, you should know that I'm creating these videos so that you can have good practice and you can easily pass the Security Plus. And the next one I will do is the objective number 4, which is 1.4. So just look around on this screen for the next video. Question 10. In a complex enterprise environment, what strategic considerations should be weighed before executing a service restart, ensuring optimal system availability while minimizing potential security vulnerabilities? Select the best option. Okay. The options are the temperature of the data center, the number of active user sessions, the chronological order of code deployment, the potential impact on interconnected services. Okay. I'll go back to the question to make sure I understand it very well. In an enterprise environment, what considerations should be weighed? So when we are reading and we see all these things, I can just remove things that I think are not important. It says in a complex enterprise environment. I can just remove complex. I can just say in an environment, in an enterprise environment, because I want to break it down to a way that I understand it. What strategic considerations should be weighed before executing a service restart, ensuring optimal system availability? Okay, we want to restart a service. So what should we be thinking about? And we want to make sure that we have optimal system availability while minimizing potential security vulnerabilities, right? I don't think it should be the temperature of the data center, the number of active. Okay, it could be this, right? This would be that, do we have 10 people that have active user sessions or 100 people? The chronological order of code deployment, it's not this. So now we've stricken out A and D. So the potential impact on interconnected services, the answer is D, because minimizing potential security vulnerabilities, and says ensuring optimal system availability. You want to, to ensure optimal system availability, we have to look at the impact on interconnected services. So that's the answer, right? So understanding the potential impact on interconnected services is critical when contemplating a service restart. I mean, particularly in intricate enterprise setup. So if we don't want any disruptions, this is it. D. Good. So comment below and like this video. You can subscribe if you want more videos like this, where I highlight and we go through questions. The next question in this series will be objective 1.4, and that will be next. Thank you for your time.